I let my mom sit with the consequences of her own words. Growing up, my mom had one rule: family helps family no matter what. She drilled it into me every chance she got. When Aunt Marlene needed money, we gave it. When my cousin needed a place to crash for 6 months, we made room. When grandma needed care, mom quit her job to do it. So when I got accepted into medical school 3 states away, I expected her to be proud. Instead, she looked at me like I'd betrayed her. "You're abandoning this family." She said it so calmly it hurt worse than yelling. I tried to explain. "This has been my dream since I was 12. She shook her head. "Dreams don't matter when family needs you here." I went anyway. For 4 years, every phone call was a guilt trip. "Your father's back is getting worse. Your brother can't handle the business alone. I'm getting older and you're off playing doctor." I graduated top of my class. She didn't come to the ceremony. Said she couldn't leave dad alone that long. My brother posted photos of them at a baseball game that same weekend. I got my residency, then my fellowship, then an attending position at one of the best hospitals in the country. Every achievement was met with the same response: "That's nice. When are you moving back home?" 3 months ago, everything changed. Mom called me at 2 inches the morning. Her voice was shaking. "I need you to come home right now. It's about your brother." My brother Brian had been running the family restaurant since dad got sick. Turns out he'd been running it into the ground. He'd taken out loans using the restaurant as collateral. Then he took out more loans using our parents' house. When mom found out, she confronted him. His response was to pack a bag and disappear. Left behind $340,000 in debt and a letter that said, "Figure it out yourself." I flew home the next day. Mom was a mess. The bank was threatening foreclosure. The restaurant was weeks from closing. Creditors were calling constantly. She looked at me with desperate eyes. "You have to fix this. You're a doctor now. You have money." I did have money. Not $340,000, but enough to make a serious dent. Enough to save the house at least. But then she said something that made my blood run cold. "This is what family does. This is why I always told you to stay close. If you'd been here, Brian never would have done this." She was blaming me for my brother's fraud because I dared to have a career. I took a deep breath. "Mom, I need you to repeat what you just said." She didn't hesitate. "If you hadn't abandoned us, none of this would have happened." I stood up slowly. "Okay." She looked relieved. "Thank you, honey. I knew you'd understand." I grabbed my purse. "I'm going back to the hotel. I'll call you tomorrow." Her face changed. "What about the money?" "We'll talk tomorrow." The next morning, I met her at a coffee shop. I had my checkbook ready. I was going to help. Family helps family, right? Then she started talking. She'd already told her sisters I was handling everything. She'd already called the bank and said her daughter, the doctor, was taking care of it. She'd already posted on Facebook thanking me for being there when Brian wasn't. She'd announced my help before I'd agreed to give it, because in her mind, I owed her for leaving, for having dreams, for not being the daughter who stayed behind and gave up everything. "Mom," I said quietly, "I'm not giving you the money." Her coffee cup froze halfway to her mouth. The next 3 minutes were the worst of my life. She called me selfish, ungrateful, said she should have known I'd abandon her again. Then I pulled out my phone. I showed her the screenshots. Every text she'd sent over the years, every voicemail I'd saved, every time she'd called my career a waste, every time she'd told relatives I thought I was better than them, every holiday she'd made about how I wasn't there. She went silent. "You kept all of this?" "Every word." I stood up. "You told me my dreams didn't matter. You told everyone I abandoned you. You blamed me for Brian's crimes." She started crying. I was just upset. I left $200 on the table. "That's for the coffee and your cab home." She grabbed my wrist. "You can't do this." I looked down at her hand. "Family helps family, right? That's what Brian said every time he took another loan. That's what you said when you told everyone I was paying." I pulled my arm free. "I'm not abandoning you, Mom. I'm letting you sit with the consequences of your own words." She lost the restaurant, sold the house to cover most of the debt, moved into a small apartment. My aunts stopped speaking to me until they found out what really happened. Last week, she called me for the first time in 2 months. She didn't ask for money. She just said, "I'm sorry I never celebrated your graduation." I cried for an hour after we hung up. Sometimes consequences are the only thing that teaches people what love actually costs.